What's up, ladies and gents, Ghost here, bringing you another episode of Gun Guide, where I show you what weapons I use, why I use them, and in what situations. Today, we're taking a look at the G3A3. Now, I haven't covered an assault rifle yet, so I figured it was about time I got round to doing one, and when it comes to assault rifles, this weapon feels like it is one of a kind. I suppose its closest cousins would be the AN-94 and the KH-2002. That was a bit of a mouthful, wasn't it? But this gun feels like it's almost a semi-automatic sniper rifle in its range and in its precision. Having that powerful and precise of a weapon along with a medkit and a defib can be extremely effective, and I think that's really one gripe that people have with running with a semi-automatic sniper, which, you know, you're going to predominantly use at mid to long ranges, and that is really the fact that you have to run with the recon kit. And this is nothing new. People have been complaining about the recon kit being underpowered and not being on par with other kits like Assault within Battlefield 3, and saying that it was better in games like Bad Company 2. And that's really one reason that people are like, yeah, I don't really want to run with a semi-automatic sniper because I'm going to have to use recon. Well, the G3A3 really feels, you know, like a semi-automatic sniper. You can slap on a 3.4 times scope, and it's very comparable, with the plus that you can run with a medkit and the defib. It's really, really nice. Now, one of the most unique things about this weapon is going to be its bullet damage. All the other assault rifles have the same damage model, which is 25 max damage and 18.4 minimum. But the G3A3 has a massive 34 maximum, 22 minimum. It has a reasonably slow rate of fire at 550, but it makes up for it with its awesome range. Its drop-off only ends at 60 meters, compared to the other assault rifles ending at 50 meters. And on top of that, bullet spread while stationary is the lowest of any of assault rifles at 0.1. However, it does have an above average spread whilst on the move, so as you can see, all these stats really point to this weapon being designed for longer range conflicts and, you know, standing still whilst tap firing or even single shotting it. Now, you guys know when I do a gun review, I like to go deep into the stats, so just to demonstrate to you guys how the drop-off and the damage model of this weapon really affects it, I'm going to show you a little graphic here that I took from Simthic. This is comparing the G3A3 to the AN-94 at 46 meters. Now, as you know, the drop-off end for most of the assault rifles is 50 meters, so as you can see here at 46 meters, the AN-94 is only doing a measly 18.6 damage, and it's almost down to its minimum damage of 18. But the G3A3 is still doing a whopping 25 damage. I mean, if you think that that's the maximum damage of the other assault rifles at point-blank range, and the G3A3 is doing that much damage at 46 meters, that is insane. You know, to kill somebody at that range, you only need 4 bullets, whereas the AN-94, you would need to hit somebody 6 times. And believe me, the difference between having to shoot somebody 6 times rather than 4 times is big. You know, throw in the fact that you could be getting a headshot. If you get one headshot, you're going to be able to drop somebody in 3 bullets. Bullet velocity is a little slow at 500 meters per second, and the recoil is high with a left and right pull of 0.2 and 0.45 vertical pull. So, you know, you're going to have to account for both of these factors, but on the other hand, the slower rate of fire makes that completely controllable. At least from personal experience, I've never really had any problem controlling it. I was actually quite shocked to see that it has such a high upwards recoil pull, because it just really doesn't feel like that to me. It is one of the highest out of all the assault rifles, but if you try it out for yourself, you know, you'll find it's really not difficult to cope with, so don't let that scare you off. The magazine only carries 20 bullets, however with the high bullet damage it should be more than enough to drop 2 or even 3 targets. It has a reasonable reload rate of 2 seconds with one in the chamber, however it does take 3.3 seconds without one, so that is quite a long reload time, and that's really another negative point for this weapon when it comes to close quarters. Due to its 20 rounds in a magazine, you are going to be finishing your clip and reloading without one in the chamber quite often, or more often than you would with other assault rifles at least. So you really don't want to be caught in close quarters situations. You really want to be using this weapon at mid to long ranges, burst firing, or single shotting. It's going to work best on middle to long range maps. I wouldn't pick this weapon for any map from the close quarters expansions, for example, but I've had plenty of success with it on maps. As you'll see from the footage, you know, I mean, I can't hold my own in close quarters. So if we talk a little bit about loadouts, you're always going to be wanting to use the heavy barrel. I can pretty much say hands down that if you're not using that attachment, then you're doing it wrong. This weapon is a long range weapon, and you're really going to want to accentuate its long range abilities by putting the heavy barrel on there. Foregrip, you're going to want to skip that, as it's only going to adversely act upon the heavy barrel. You know, it's just going to throw off your aim. I personally go with the underslung. You can go with a bipod. The only reason I don't do that is that they just annoy me, quite frankly. I just don't really like the bipod. If you do, that's fine, you can go with that. And when it comes to the sight, you can go for red dot sight, you can go for holographic. Both work really well. Personally, I've been trying out the 3.4 times sight a lot, and it's really surprised me. You know, I thought it was going to be all over the place, but I think I've actually had my most success whilst using this sight. So, you know, just as you would with a semi-automatic sniper, that's something you might want to try out for yourself. Now, this is a really nice choice of weapon if you're actually lowly ranked and you want to unlock an effective weapon. You know, give yourself a little head start. It can be a little more of a challenging weapon to learn to use, but compared to waiting for, you know, one of the other weapons by ranking up, you can just go the co-op route and unlock this. I have to say that I took a really long time actually getting round to trying out this weapon, simply because I hadn't unlocked it yet. You know, I mean, when I got the game, I played a few co-ops games and tried it out, unlocked a few weapons that way, but really I put 99% of my playtime into multiplayer mode. And since this is the final weapon to be unlocked in co-op, I just never really actually got round to unlocking the damn thing. So if you've yet to unlock it, I suggest you do. You won't regret it. Alright then guys, that about wraps this one up. If you enjoyed the content, then please remember to hit that like button down below, and if you'd like to see more of the same, then feel free to subscribe to me. Thanks for watching guys, and I will see you soon. Cheers.